did you make of these pictures? Because, of course, this is a couple, let's not forget, who've been so conscious about protecting their children from social media. We've heard both of them talk about the dangers of social media. And without a doubt, we've discussed this on Royals Uncensored in recent weeks. We are seeing more of the children. How does that sit with you? Because, of course, it opens them up to accusations of hypocrisy.
I can see how it would. I mean, first of all, like you said, I can't believe she's 5 already. Gorgeous hair. I mean, she looks like she's really tall. We don't see Lilibet's face at all, and they're quite good at not showing us Lilibet or Archie's faces in any of their pictures. I think it's towing that line, isn't it, between privacy, between celebrating their children because it's her birthday and it's lovely to post something. And obviously, you know, fans want to see something, want to see how they're growing up, but it's also then protecting their privacy until they're old enough to decide they want to have a social media account, whenever that may be. So I think they've done that quite well by posting them infrequently, not posting their faces. I can see how people might say that it's hypocrisy because they do talk a lot about the dangers of social media, and quite rightly so. But they do protect their children's privacy really well. And I think as long as they continue down that road, then hopefully it, you know, protects them as much as they possibly can. And I do agree with you that they probably or could end up creating a situation where people get a bit mental and get a bit fever pitchy about, we need to see their faces, but they're children. They are absolutely entitled to their privacy.
Absolutely.
And Harry and Meghan have decided that this is the best way to do it, to give people a little bit of what they want. You know, here's Lily on her fifth birthday, no face, and that's
After watching that discussion, one thing becomes crystal clear. No matter what Harry and Meghan do when it comes to their children, somebody, somewhere, is determined to be upset about it. And honestly, that's the fascinating part. Because today wasn't about a scandal. It wasn't about a controversy. It wasn't about a feud. It wasn't about some shocking royal revelation. It was a mother celebrating her daughter's birthday. That's it. Yet somehow, even a birthday tribute for little Princess Lilibet managed to spark another round of debates, think pieces, panel discussions, and endless commentary about whether Harry and Meghan are doing enough, doing too much, showing too little, showing too much, being too private, or somehow not being private enough. Humanity has accomplished many great things. Landing on the moon, discovering penicillin, building the internet. Yet somehow we still can't collectively handle a child having a birthday photo posted online without turning it into a philosophical crisis. What struck me most about this latest discussion is that it accidentally exposed a contradiction that has followed Harry and Meghan for years. A contradiction that keeps getting bigger, and one that says far more about the critics than it does about Harry and Meghan. Because, let's be honest, if Harry and Meghan never shared any photographs of Archie and Lilibet, there would be outrage. People would accuse them of being secretive. People would claim they were hiding something. People would complain that they were creating mystery. People would demand to know why the public never gets to see the children. We've seen those complaints before. But then, when Harry and Meghan do share a photograph, carefully selected, respectful, tasteful, and protective of their children's privacy, suddenly a completely different criticism appears. Now they're showing too much. Now they're being hypocritical. Now they're supposedly contradicting themselves. The criticism changes depending on what they've done. And that's because, for some people, the criticism isn't really about the action at all. The criticism is about Harry and Meghan. That's the reality nobody wants to admit. Because if the issue was truly privacy, then today's photographs would be viewed as a textbook example of parents maintaining boundaries. The children's faces aren't prominently displayed, the images are carefully controlled, the photos were released directly by the family, there are no intrusive paparazzi shots, there are no long lens photographies taken without consent, there is no exploitation, there is no invasion, there is simply a family marking an important milestone, a 5th birthday. And let's pause for a moment to appreciate how unbelievable that sounds. Lilibet is 5. 5. It feels like yesterday the British media was breathlessly covering her birth, creating endless speculation about her name, arguing over every detail, and producing approximately 12 million opinion pieces before she'd even had a chance to blow out a birthday candle. Now, she's 5 years old. Time moves fast, especially in the royal world, where a single week somehow contains the equivalent of 6 months of drama. But what I find most interesting is how Harry and Meghan have remained remarkably consistent on this issue from the very beginning. People often misunderstand what they've actually said. Harry and Meghan have never argued that parents should never post photographs of their children. They've never claimed that families should erase their children from existence. They've never suggested that every image shared online is automatically harmful. What they've spoken about repeatedly is consent, safety, privacy, protection, and perhaps most importantly, choice. Those are very different things. There's a huge difference between parents sharing a carefully chosen family photograph and strangers feeling entitled to unlimited access to children they do not know. Those are not the same thing, yet somehow they constantly get lumped together. The truth is that Harry's concerns about media intrusion didn't appear out of thin air. They're rooted in personal experience. His life has been shaped by living under an intense spotlight from the moment he was born. Every stage of his childhood was documented. Every awkward phase, every mistake, every emotional moment, every private struggle, all of it became public property. Or at least people behaved as though it was public property. And perhaps because of that experience, Harry has chosen a different path for his own children. A path where Archie and Lilibet have the opportunity to grow up without cameras documenting every moment. A path where they can simply be children. Imagine that. Children being allowed to act like children. Apparently, a revolutionary concept in certain corners of royal commentary. What makes this debate especially strange is that many celebrities do exactly the same thing. Actors do it, musicians do it, athletes do it, influencers do it. Public figures across countless industries routinely hide their children's faces, blur identifying details, or limit what they share online. And most people accept that decision without much fuss. The reaction tends to be simple. They're protecting their kids. Fair enough. Conversation over. Yet when Harry and Meghan do something similar, suddenly it becomes a national debate. Panels are assembled, experts are consulted, columns are written, television segments are produced, and somehow a birthday photograph becomes a topic requiring extensive analysis. The level of scrutiny is extraordinary, and frankly, it's exhausting. Because underneath all of this is a simple question. Who exactly is entitled to see Archie and Lilibet? The answer is nobody. Nobody is entitled to access those children. Not journalists, not commentators, not social media users, not royal watchers, not critics, not supporters. Nobody. People may be curious, that's natural. People may wonder what they look like, that's understandable. But curiosity and entitlement are not the same thing. And that's where this conversation often goes off the rails. Curiosity says, I'd love to see them. Entitlement says, I deserve to see them. Those are completely different attitudes. One respects boundaries, the other ignores them. And Harry and Meghan have made it very clear which side of that line they stand on. What they've done over the years is actually quite clever. They've found a middle ground, a compromise, a balance between sharing family moments and preserving privacy. They acknowledge that people are interested. They acknowledge that supporters enjoy seeing updates. They acknowledge that birthdays and milestones are meaningful occasions. But they also maintain firm boundaries. Those boundaries matter. And frankly, more public figures could probably learn from that approach. Because the internet has changed everything. Children today grow up in a world where photographs can be shared globally within seconds. Images can circulate forever. Digital footprints are created before children are old enough to understand what the internet even is. That reality didn't exist for previous generations. Parents now have to make decisions that simply didn't exist 20 or 30 years ago. How much do you share? What do you share? When do you share it? Who gets access? These are complicated questions. Reasonable people can disagree about the answers. But one thing remains undeniable. Those decisions belong to parents, not commentators, not tabloids, not strangers online. Parents. And whether people personally agree with Harry and Meghan's choices or not, those choices are theirs to make. That's the principle at the heart of this conversation. The strange thing is that every time Harry and Meghan post one of these rare family photographs, the reaction tends to prove why they're cautious in the first place. Instead of simply celebrating a child's birthday, people immediately begin analyzing, zooming in, speculating, debating, dissecting, creating theories, arguing over motives, questioning intentions, examining details that most families would never imagine becoming public discussion topics. The reaction itself demonstrates the intensity of attention surrounding these children. And if that's the response to a carefully curated birthday tribute, imagine what life would look like if there were no boundaries at all. That's probably exactly what Harry and Meghan are trying to avoid, because childhood only happens once. You don't get those years back. You don't get a second chance at growing up. You don't get a redo on privacy. Once something is public, it's public forever. And that's why this issue matters. Not because of royal gossip, not because of media narratives, not because of endless online debates. It matters because real children are involved. Children who deserve the opportunity to develop their own identities. Children who deserve the chance to decide for themselves how public they want their lives to be. Children who deserve space. Children who deserve protection, children who deserve normal experiences wherever possible. And perhaps that's the biggest thing people forget. Before they're royal children, before they're public figures, before they're the subjects of headlines, they're kids. Just kids. A little boy and a little girl growing up with parents who clearly adore them. Parents who are trying to navigate an impossible balance between public interest and private family life. Parents who know firsthand what happens when boundaries disappear. Whether people support Harry and Meghan or not, that's something worth recognizing, because every parent faces decisions about protecting their children. The scale may be different, the circumstances may be different, but the instinct is universal. To keep your children safe, to give them opportunities, to shield them from unnecessary harm, to let them grow at their own pace. That's not controversial. That's parenting. And that's why today's birthday tribute shouldn't really be viewed through the lens of controversy at all. It should be viewed for what it was: a celebration. A happy family moment, a reminder that another year has passed, a reminder that little Lilibet is growing up, a reminder that life continues beyond headlines, beyond debates, beyond royal drama, and beyond the endless cycle of outrage that seems to consume so much modern commentary. At the end of the day, the loudest voices will continue arguing. Some will claim Harry and Meghan share too much, others will claim they share too little. Some will call them private, others will call them hypocritical. The criticism will continue because criticism always continues, but none of that changes the fundamental reality. A little girl celebrated her 5th birthday. Her parents marked the occasion with love. They shared a glimpse of that happiness with the world while maintaining the boundaries they've consistently chosen for their family. And, despite all the noise surrounding it, that really is the whole story. Happy birthday, Princess Lilibet, once again. And, judging by the reaction to a simple birthday post, it seems some people are going to need many more years to learn the difference between public interest and personal entitlement. Smiley here, signing off. Take care, and I will see you in the next video.